The closer we get to the end of my series, the more involved I am with my emotions and past. When I tell my story, I feel that I time traveled back and experienced it all over again. With that being said, I need to tell my story so I can leave it in the past. It's a recovery process for me so I can finally look forward. During high school was a time when I was really depressed. I had no goals in life. I didn't want to do the work. It wasn't helping me. Every time I went to school, I was completely miserable. I was completely miserable outside of the class. I just felt so alone with the world. I remember I would have to commute to do my speech therapy class, and I would have my headphones on, and I just felt like I was going crazy. I felt like the whole world was against me. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I didn't know how to make my situation any better, but I just felt like the whole world was against me. I would just sit on a train and just people watch. I was envious of people who were happy and had a goal in life and were doing something productive. I wanted to have that feeling, but I didn't know what to do or how to do it. After the speech therapy session, I would just sit in the park and just watch people go by. I would just watch the water. I just didn't know. All I had was myself and my thoughts. Around junior to senior year was probably my hardest time to get by, just in terms of what was happening with my surroundings. My body was quiet for a while now, but I wasn't happy in the situation I was. I was trying to be happy and I was trying to get through it, but I just didn't know what to do. I just didn't have an outlet to release my anger, and people just couldn't understand what I was going through. My maturity level was really high, but at the same time, it was really low. So, people couldn't relate to my maturityness. During that time, I would talk with a lot of adults just because we were more on the same level of thinking and how humans interact. The older you get, the different you think of towards people and stuff. And I had such a different thinking towards people than everyone else that were my peers that I just couldn't relate to them. I was so tired of being different about it. So while it was good that I was talking to adults, I also didn't like to talk to adults in the sense that they were adults and they had different problems and they were in totally different situations than I was. So for one, they really couldn't help me. They just more helped me get by through the tough time that I had. During my senior time, when I was time to go for college, at the time I really was not happy with myself, so my grades weren't that great and I just wasn't motivated to do well in school. The only light at the tunnel with me was graduating and getting to a college. When I was looking for schools around my area, there was a school called Marist College, and when I got a tour, I felt right at home. It was a dream school to me, and I was scared that they weren't accept me based on my past performance in school. I was really hoping that they gave me the opportunity to try and succeed in school. For me, it was my almost last shot at trying to be something. This is a real school. This is a school with more opportunity. This is a school with different kids. This is a school where I can make it somewhere. This is a school where I can find my goals in life, my path, new people, new teachers, new things to do. It was my light at the end of the tunnel. When I got the acceptance letter, I was so happy about it. It was probably one of the happiest days of my life. I was taking so much that I accidentally ripped the folder in half of how excited I was. I didn't believe that they were actually going to accept me, and it was my shot to prove that I am better than I thought I could be. I was so happy with that situation that I had something good to look forward to, a new beginning. I could almost leave the past behind and almost start off fresh. It was my beginning to the rest of my life. I made 3 promises in my life in high school. 1, to show appreciation toward my parents. 2, show appreciation toward people that deserve to be appreciated. And 3, if I were to have another severe flare-up, that I would not want to be alive to go through it anymore. I was contemplating on wanting to end my life just so I don't have to suffer. No person deserves to suffer as much as I did, and I didn't want to make myself suffer any more than I had to. Going to college was probably the biggest deal in my life, and especially my parents' life. For one, I was going to a school that was 90 miles away from my home, so my parents couldn't be there if something were to happen. 2, I was actually going to be living independently. Somehow I was able to live independently without any care of any sort. 3, I had to rely on myself on almost anything I needed. While I wasn't paying my bills or anything like that, but I would had to be able to look out for myself. So when I came to school, it was really intimidating for me. While I was really excited, I was also extremely nervous of how people were gonna react to me. I had a bad experience back then, but I needed to keep trying. So at first it was really daunting. People didn't know how to react to me. But as time grew on, it got easier. So it was like, if I interacted with one group of people, then word kind of got around like, oh, this guy is really cool, you should hang out with him, give him a chance, he's really funny, he's really nice, he's really etc. Like, give him a chance, he's not as bad as it seems. He seems like a normal person, he's trying to fit in, give him a shot. My second semester of freshman year is when my life took a huge couple of steps back. No one knew what was going to happen, and it was a very, very long journey to where I am standing here today. Stay tuned.